Hey everybody, it's Will Reeves.
And this is GaryLeland, and you're listening to episode 123 of the Crypto Cousins podcast.
Feed your interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies by joining Hall of Fame podcaster Gary Leland on the Crypto Cousins podcast. And remember, we are all cousins in the world of crypto. This week's price of Bitcoin.
$7,235. That's down $101 or 1.4%. Howdy. Will, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gary. Happy to be episode 123.
123. Yeah, that's a nice countdown there. It is. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, 123. I guess I'll have to wait till 1234 for something that good. So this is an early morning for you up there. You're 8 o'clock. This is one of my, I think, earlier times I've ever talked to anyone. So I appreciate you getting up early to join me, making this one of your first things of the day. I don't know how long you've been up, but I'm sure this is one of the first things you've done today.
Made some coffee and ready for this. I think we're all going to be better as a result of getting the coffee in first.
Well, you're with the Fuld app, which I love, by the way. Just to let you know, I think I'm now at 514,000 sats, so moving up quickly. But tell us, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself, just a short bio.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, first off, thank you for being a Fuld user. 500,000 sats in about a month or so of using it is not bad. So thank you for checking it out. But a little bit about myself. I'm come from Northern California, have been an entrepreneur and primarily building in the payments and kind of consumer sector for the last 10 years. And, I made my way into starting to build on Bitcoin about 2 years ago or so. And it's kind of, been a wild ride. And, all the work that you see in Fuld right now is kind of been a culmination of that.
Well, this morning I got up and listened to your interview with Marty. Marty been on Rabbit Hole Recap, which I enjoyed. Sounds like y'all enjoyed drinking some mezcal there. And I didn't realize that Fuld, until I heard the show, I didn't realize that Fuld started as a Bitcoin app for loading Bitcoins.
Yeah, so Fuld actually started in 2014 as a smaller project where you could essentially spend Bitcoin, load Bitcoin, and spend it at Starbucks. It was really the kind of realization of, okay, a lot of people have Bitcoin now. This thing isn't going to be real until someone buys a cup of coffee. Right when that meme was really strong, and that was considered a big test for the for Bitcoin overall. And so Fuld was really created to solve that initial problem. And as you can see, it's evolved quite a bit since then, and it's really just a reflection of how Bitcoin overall has evolved.
So can you still upload Bitcoin onto Fuld?
So we no longer allow that. Now, it's partially because of how Fuld works now. So the app, as you notice, only accepts Lightning payments right now. And the previous app was accepted on-chain payments. And there's a major UX difference between making an on-chain versus a Lightning payment. With an on-chain payment, you need to indicate who you're sending it to, and you need to indicate manually how much you're going to send them. And so when you have something like a cup of coffee or really anything where price is fluctuating in the background, or fat thumbs are getting in the way, people can often spend or send too much or too little for that good on the other end. And so what that creates is a situation where the app needs to be able to hold the Bitcoin that you send over the amount specified, or request that you send more. And really, Lightning is completely changing that with the invoice model. It turns the UX so the user does not have to think about destination or actually amount sent, because it's all encoded in the invoice.
Okay. So, yeah, and like I said, I love this app, and I love sats. I think that's one of the best things that's happened to Bitcoin. The reason I say that is I think the average person has a hard time with math, and fractions especially. And I think if you say to someone something is 0.0025682 Bitcoin, they have no idea what you're talking about, because they don't even know what a third of 100 is. Yep. Where if you say something's 25,000 sats, even though it may sound out of proportion, they can conceive that concept. There's no fractions. And so I like the Sats idea completely. The reason, though, I asked about the Bitcoin was when I went to the question and answer or information page, it had a place where you put a Bitcoin address, and it mentioned Bitcoin a couple of times in there. So then I got kind of confused because I was going, I didn't think you could do Bitcoin with this. Even on the front page, it says enter the amount of Bitcoin you want to load in dollars and confirm.
Yes, you can still do on-chain payments on our web app. And so our web app actually only supports on-chain Bitcoin right now, and Lightning. And really the app, launching the app was a really clear moment for Fuld where we were really going in a big way in on Lightning. First off, we believe it provides the only user experience that is, up to snuff for what a mainstream audience would expect for a payment experience. And so we wanted to really go and perfect the Lightning experience. And then later, we may introduce on-chain payments at a later date. But I'll tell you this, the fact that we have not introduced that, our old users that were using the web app and using on-chain Bitcoin payments every day with us have now adopted into Lightning because we don't offer on-chain and because we make it very easy to make that transition so they see what a better experience it actually is.
Okay, so that's why I was curious about that. That had me curious. Now, on Fuld, this is apps on Android and on iOS. And if you're interested in finding out about this real quick while you're listening to this, just go to GaryLeland.com/Fuld, F-O-L-D, and it'll take you to my affiliate account. And if you join, I get 20,000 sats, I believe. So, of course, I'm going to give that out.
Stack those sats.
Stack those sats. I got to get to the million sat club with you guys.
Yes.
So my question next is, I went through a lot of my questions are going to be about the app itself. Is this still invite only? Because when I joined, I had to go and apply and wait for so many of them. It was in beta still, I guess. Is that still the case?
No, it's now it's publicly available. We have opened it up. It's completely open to anybody in the UK, Canada, US, and Australia, and available in the App Store on both Android and iOS.
Okay, so that's good to know, because I was wondering, because I wanted to get my wife using it, but I said, she's not going to want to apply and wait for this stuff, so I'm going to start pushing that to other people now. So yeah. I was listening on Marty's show when you were on there, which I really enjoyed that show. And one of the aspects of the Fuld app that I'd never thought about and never came to mind was the security/privacy feature of spending money with Fuld versus going in and using my credit card.
Yeah, Fuld, the way Fuld works is that we connect into prepaid systems of these retailers, and that everyone knows that from store credit, gift cards, prepaid cards, and all of those three things have been hallmarks of privacy conscious individuals for a very long time. And so this is not really a new thing, but it happens to be the way our integration works is that it provides this extra layer of security and privacy for individuals using our app. Now, when you go and swipe a credit card at any of these retailers, there are at minimum 6 different parties who are getting location, personal information, transaction details from you, and that all have licenses to then share with whoever else. And so the cool thing about Fuld is that when you spend with Fuld, even with your credit card, that your credit card company only sees a payment to Fuld, and the retailer only sees a payment from Fuld. And so what this means is the user gets to sit in between that, in that padding, in a kind of pseudonymous state, because they cannot actually attach to an identity in the middle. So that stops a lot of unnecessary advertising, or making your data vulnerable to attackers.
Well, I think that's a really interesting point of view, or point that I was not aware of. So I really thought that, because here I go in and I use my Fuld app, let's say at Best Buy, and I get up like 3 or 4 $50 cards, buy something, and then I give them my phone number. So I'm going, wait a second, I kind of defeated the whole purpose there.
Yes. So for us, it's a work in progress. By no means is this something that is perfected now. Like even what you've said now, you had to buy a couple $25 cards or so. Fuld very soon will be exact denominations, so you're entering it exactly at the register.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes, that's one of our most requested features, along with, of course, withdrawals, which is coming very shortly.
Yeah, that would be great too. That was a question I had.
Oh, just get into our Telegram channel. You'll see the chant for withdrawals. We know that's really important in terms of trust and just the functionality of the app. And so we're really working hard on a couple of key features. But our general approach is that Fuld is here to change the way we spend and we pay. And that is to change it away from methods of payment that may put you at risk or unnecessarily share private information, or the exact currency that you're transacting in, and to start to change those behaviors. And those are pretty foundational, because the existing infrastructure of payments is not there to protect your privacy or your data, and your existing money that you're spending is very different than this kind of new phenomenon that we call Bitcoin. And so for us, we have to battle against a lot of entrenched behaviors, and that's not always easy as a product to do. And so the way that Fuld approaches this is that we approach it all through incentives. We really don't talk much about privacy. We don't necessarily, even when you choose to spend, with Bitcoin, we just call it lightning and instant delivery payments. And the reason why we do that is because we feel like the education comes in the usage of it. And we're not going to block you at the very beginning with long-winded explanations of why this is important. We'd rather just incentivize better behavior so that you naturally do it yourself.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And that actually works better. And, I just want to make sure, if you're listening to this and you've not used Fuld before, I just want to give you a basic thing on Fuld, because maybe we should have started that way even. But Fuld is an app. You use it at different stores, airlines, restaurants. And when you get ready to make your purchase, you buy a gift card. And you go up to the counter, and for the most part, they scan the QR code on the gift card. Now, one thing I have found, I've got to tell you, so putting in the exact amount would be helpful. I went in and bought like $250 worth at Best Buy. The first time I used multiple cards, and I'm buying $50 gift cards. And that's holding up the line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I buy a card, scan it. Wait a second, I could get another one. So I got to order and buy another gift card, hold it, scan it. So now I've gotten better. When I go up to a counter, I go, okay, this is $150 worth of stuff. I go ahead and buy my cards. So when I go up there, I can whip through them much faster. And I think that's helpful to the people in line, at least ways. Now, I did have an issue the other night, which was just my not having knowledge yet at Target. At Target, you actually have to buy the gift card and then redeem it on Target's online site.
So the way that we have integrated with a lot of these retailers is that we need to work with their existing POS systems. We are a payment gateway that doesn't require shipping new hardware to merchants, new software, or new training to their cashiers. And that's part of, the design of it. And retailers are always changing how their POS systems work. For that specific case, Target is a special case. They have made a couple changes where they are trying to get people more and more to use their app. And of course, that goes against our privacy goals as well, right? And so the way that we are doing this is we are working to try to find other sources and ways for these prepaid cards to be able to just scan them at the POS. That is our end goal. But, they're in that Target scenario, that is something that the retailer changed the way that they did their POS and made it so the inventory that we had to go through the app at that time. But that won't be the case going forward.
Okay. Oh, so that's just a temporary thing.
Yes, and so we're actively sourcing alternative ways to actually go through their scanners at the POS, just like Best Buy or Target or pretty much all of our other retailers.
Yeah, since I had not used the Target card yet, I was at the counter and they kept telling me it wouldn't work. I said, I know this works. I've used it everywhere. I know for a fact this works. And so finally, someone came over and said, you got to log into your account, I think. And I said, because I thought the redeem was for buying online. If I wanted to buy something online, it was going to take me to the site where I could go ahead and shop. I didn't see redeem as activating the gift card. I saw it as using it online. I said, no, I don't want to buy online. I'm right here. I don't want to buy online. And finally, the guy said, appease me, just do it. I said, okay. I'll do it. And damn, there was a barcode, as soon as I got online. Yeah. So there's my confusion on understanding what the word meant. So it was easy to do if you have an account at Target. If you don't have an account at Target, you got to sit there and make an account, I guess. So I'm glad to hear you're going to change that. So going back to an issue you said earlier, when do y'all have on the board as to when you'll have so you can remove your transfer your sats off the app?
So that is going to be dropping in 2019. We got a hard commitment from our development team that is racing towards that. It's something we want to do right.
But you only got like 26 days left, dude.
Oh, we are feeling the heat. Trust us. So yeah, we have a lot of great features, but I'd say that the top ones are just making sure the app stays alive and doesn't break on you all. We just went through Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which surpassed our wildest expectations in terms of volumes flowing through our app. And for the most part, it didn't break. In some cases, here and there, we definitely found issues. But I would say the most incredible thing is the amount of people using this who have adopted it for daily purchases has been phenomenal. And that means that we get to hear a lot of things of improvements, features, and we are listening very closely on Twitter. We have a Telegram. We have our support channel. We have people reaching out with incredible ideas for new features and new ways to use the app overall. And so it's one of the things, as being someone who builds products, that is always a special moment when you release something and it is taken up by a wide audience that is engaging with it and actively working with you to build something new. And we're trying to build this thing out in the open to some extent, to let people know what our roadmap is. We're going to drop this feature, then this feature, and they get to sometimes even look at prototypes that are coming out. If you check out our Telegram channel, you'll be able to frequently see new screens and the users get to give their input on it. And so we're really trying to build this in the open with the community.
Well, like I said, I know everybody's going to love what you're doing here. Hey, and before we go any further, I want to make sure everybody listening knows about BitBlockBoom. If you listen to this show regularly, you've heard this a dozen times. But that's a conference I put on here in Dallas, Texas, and it's a real Bitcoin conference. And by that term real, we don't talk about altcoins. We really talk about blockchain. All we talk about at BitBlockBoom is Bitcoin. The third BitBlockBoom conference is coming up in Dallas in August of 2020. It's turning into a week-long event at the way it's going with a ton of great speakers. We just signed up Stefan Livera yesterday. So take the code COUSINS, COUSINS. If you decide to go, use that code at bitblockboom.com, and that'll save you 30% off price of a ticket. The first two events were fantastic, and this one is going to be killer. Is going to outdo the other ones by a ton. So check that out. Had you heard about my conference before?
I have. Actually, I was out in Texas with Pierre, I believe right before he was going to BitBlockBoom last year.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Seems like a lot of people have heard good things about it, so I think I'm doing something right.
I would say it's one of the conferences that it has a bit of a lower profile, but the people that are talking about it are the exact ones you trust and want to be around. So you're doing something good.
Yeah, I think even though the amount of people that are coming are not on the scale of Bitcoin 2020 or Bitcoin 19 or Consensus or something, it's all top name people. I think that's what's making it, is they know they're going to be around like people maybe. I'm not sure. Hey, I had another question I had. Do people mostly hodl their kickbacks or do they spend their kickbacks?
So we've been seeing pretty much a pretty even split between the two. And what we're seeing is there's one, caveat here is that withdrawals aren't there. And so, there's some people who are like, I'm going to spend if I don't have it, not your keys, not your coin. So that could skew the results slightly, but we're seeing a pretty even split between those that spend and those that hodl. And so it's really a difference in profile. We have launching Fuld, and especially launching support for USD and fiat, has really brought two audiences to Fuld that weren't currently there. That was the hodler maximalist, never spend, always hold. And on the very other side of the spectrum is everyday mainstream consumers who just had a curiosity about what Bitcoin is and see that this is a good way to not only stack sats, but also just to save on everyday purchases. And so both of those users are fairly new to Fuld. We used to just have people who were open to using their Bitcoin. They would spend and replace, and that was kind of a lifestyle for them. And so we're learning a lot from both of these audiences, but it's cool that they're both coming together to use a common tool. And I believe that accounts for a lot of the divide of those spending and hodling.
Now, I noticed that sometimes a gift card can disappear. Not a gift card, but the option to buy a gift card from a vendor listing, or however we want to say that, will disappear. For instance, one time I was sitting in the restaurant and I was talking to a guy, came over and goes, "Yeah, I went to buy some Amazon last night and they were gone." I said, "What do you mean?" I looked at my app and it was gone too. But then the next day, Amazon was back.
Yes, that's all a function of Fuld's current growth. I will tell you that October grew nearly 300% over September, and November grew nearly 200% over October. So when you're talking about a small team, new product, it is purely a function that we are surpassing our wildest projections. And we are doing our best to make sure that we are able to hide that from all of you, so we don't get caught on our toes, but on our heels. But that does mean there have been some shortages here and there. And part of it is that, we have some things automated and some things are still manual, sometimes by design. But we are working to make sure that those kind of interruptions don't happen. But, as we get into 2020, first and second month, most of this stuff will be completely automated, coming directly from these retailers. And so we won't have that issue. But certainly now we have, between withdrawals and where's, this retailer, that's something we constantly are trying to solve.
Okay, so I guess y'all manually right now do y'all pre-purchase all these cards and manually add them? Basically, you go, well, we need $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 worth of Amazon cards, and you add them all on there.
So we are working with issuers that allow us to basically pull down these codes. And so we just have to have some commitment to them that is on their side, and we're able to just pull in real time these codes. And so it's kind of a closed loop where we are pulling codes, we're paying for those codes all in real time. But because of the way that the product was built, initially it was all manual. That is part of the infrastructure that we're trying to automate now.
I see. That's what you're working on now, is getting, as you said, you're getting everything automated. Now, the other night, the same person I was talking to about I've talked to a lot of people, and they had this same issue that I had the other night, except for a different amount. I bought 4 gift cards from Amazon, 3 for $100 and 1 for $50, I think. I don't know why I bought the $50 one. Then I couldn't buy anymore. And they said they had the same thing happen with them when they bought 7. And I told them, I said, I thought maybe it was my bank, was going, hey, we don't trust this company because they're crypto related. Because I've had my bank lock my account before, for buying on Coinbase or something. And but when they had the same issue, but for a different amount, I was a little confused. Is that a bank thing, or is that a site limit, or?
Yeah, so it can be both. For the most part, I believe in that case, it was us. And the interesting thing is, we're very used to people transacting in Bitcoin, and that provides a level of safety and security that the fiat world of credit cards does not also get. Bitcoin payments have a level of finality to it. So you're not really open to fraudulent charges. And so for Fuld, as we kind of walk into this new world, we are definitely making sure that we are protecting us and our users. And so what we do is we have, depending on many factors, different types of levels and controls that are there to protect us, but also users. And the idea here is that we are getting better at honing these rules so that we don't catch up the good guys, but stop the bad guys.
Okay. Well, see, I thought it was my bank, and she thought it was you guys. And I said, well, I'm going to ask, because we just had this discussion yesterday. Now, why do some of the gift cards have barcodes? Like Best Buy has a barcode, but Chipotle doesn't. It just has the numbers.
That's again, you're calling out the interesting cases here. So Chipotle, actually, there's an interesting article that came out that you can find online, and it's 10% of Chipotle cashiers don't know how to scan their own barcodes for Chipotle gift cards. Or sorry, 90% don't know. Only 10% know how. The issue is that for whatever reason, the way that Chipotle cashiers have been trained, they don't include gift card scans. And so we used to provide the barcodes, but we ran into this issues that people would go there and say they don't work, but it was actually because the cashiers were not scanning them correctly. And so what we found is that just providing we could either remove Chipotle, or if we remove the barcode and force the manual input, they would always work and the cashiers always knew what to do. And so it was one of those interesting cases where we had to do something that was less efficient and slightly annoying, but that is the only way to really preserve a semi-good experience and make sure that you don't feel that, you bought a bad card or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just cars and problems, and it's a good card. It's just that causes problems that you can't do anything about. To me, this is like the best deal going. I'm getting ready to buy something anyway. It's like I use the AMC ones. My wife and I go to a movie every week. On Friday night, that's what we do is we go out to dinner and to a movie. And so I stacked up on AMC cards in case you ever remove them. Maybe you might lose your deal with them someday. Who knows? So I bought quite a few, just to be ready because I'm going to use one every Friday. I'm going to use $25, $30 every Friday. And it's something you're spending money on anyway, right? You're going to spend this money anyway, and you just get a card and you make free Bitcoin. I mean, for doing nothing extra. So to me, this is like, I like Lolly too, but I don't like the fact that I can't use Lolly on the go like I can yours. Lolly's really for my desktop on Chrome.
Anyone offering sats back is a friend of Fuld. And we absolutely feel that there are many ways that people transact in the real world. And some of these sats back companies specialize in, desktop experiences. Some, link your credit card. Fuld really took the aspect of we're trying to be the center of everyday commerce. And that needs to be something that spans online, offline, in-app. And so that's why on Fuld you see some have a barcode, some are a deep link into your Amazon app, some are a deep link into Uber.
So does the Uber work just like the Amazon does?
Exactly.
Okay, I haven't used that one yet. So I buy my gift card and I upload it to my Uber account.
Yes, you click on Open Uber and it opens it up and automatically just loads it right into your account. And
I didn't know how that one worked.
The idea is that there are two ways these sats back companies are really working. There's Fuld, which works through prepaid relationships with these retailers, and then there's affiliate relationships. And the difference is that Fuld powers both the payment and the reward for these retailers, whereas the affiliates, you're paying these affiliates, the retailers directly, and then these retailers are going to send a reward to the sats back company, and then they're going to give the sats back to you. And that's why it takes some delay and everything like that. But
that's another thing I like about Fuld is I get my sats right away.
Yes.
Actually, I've made other purchases when I first started using Lolly, and I like the guys at Lolly. I mean, I've had them on the show. I'm not knocking them. They told me on the show this would happen, but I bought my first hotel room. Like a month and a half went by and I'm going, well, I guess it didn't work. And then like maybe 2 months, instead it showed up in my account. So I knew it worked then. So I wasn't worried about it. It's just like I said, the convenience of just having it on my phone and I can tote it with me. That's what I was looking for the whole time I was using Lolly. And I like Lolly and I like the guys here. Like I said, I like anyone that's working with sats. But I just think yours is convenient because I can use it on the go. I can use it online. I can use it wherever I want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really a function of, how we're integrating with these incumbent systems. And so there will be more. And it is my firm belief that sats back will become the standard. Sats may be the standard a little bit after, but sats back will become the standard. I feel that for most of the, rewards companies, whether it is your credit card, whether it is Rakuten or Ebates or any of these others, it's really a flip of the switch to add Bitcoin to their program. So they can, cash out in USD or cash out in Bitcoin. And for all of these incumbents and new startups, I am welcoming and I think it is a good sign that they will start adopting Bitcoin as simply another reward option because people are very quickly realizing it is a fundamentally better reward than an airline mile or a point. And so for us, it was really important when we designed this program is with that in mind, that sats back is going to become ubiquitous. And you need to have some other area where you're going to accrue value and give value to both retailers and consumers over the long run. And so that's why it is important for us that we power both the payment and the reward, because that's where we get to offer privacy, different types of payment, be flexible with that. And we feel that over the long haul, that is what is going to give Fuld the edge. Because one of the cool things now when we talk to retailers is that someone who goes through the line at Best Buy, for instance, the only customer that is not a liability for the retailer in terms of a chargeback or processing fees is a Fuld customer. And that's because we power the payment. The retailer takes no processing fees and doesn't take any chargeback risk. And so for them, that is taking care of a multi-billion-dollar headache that they have. And so that's why for us, we really see Sats Back as a user acquisition, a place to distribute Bitcoin as widely and fast as possible. But as a business, the real value is going to become from managing the payment aspect as well.
Yeah, I really can see that. I have two retail operations. I have like the largest wallpaper store in Texas with several wallpaper websites and a sporting goods store with several sporting good websites. And chargebacks are, God, they're not that bad in the wallpaper business because people aren't going out to steal wallpaper.
Right.
They're getting wallpaper. They normally have a home and they're kind of stable. But in the sporting good business, my God, when I have a kickback come back for a $400 bat, I'm just going, gee, I could have gone out to the best steak restaurant in Dallas today.
Yep.
And I never win the case. Barely ever. I mean, I do win it once in a while, but I lose way more than I win. And now we're at the point we even look up their house on Google Maps or address, look at the house, and we'll have to make a judgment call by looking at the house. And we'll go, it's obvious whoever lives in that house can't afford $1,000 worth of softball equipment. Or we'll decide that because the risk of a chargeback is too high. I wish I could take Fuld at my stores and my online sites. How do people get to take Fuld? I'm sure you're not taking small companies like mine yet, but how does a company find out about getting in Fuld?
So, that's a great question. We're building that capability now. For us, the barrier to entry right now with our integration now is that do you have a prepaid or gift card program? So we are currently have contracts for over 250 merchants that will be rolling out over the next few months.
Oh, wow.
And that will take a large majority of retail in North America in brands. We already have, some of the biggest ones, but we will be filling out some of the major gaps that we currently have, both in restaurants and retail and other services. And after that, it's really starting to go for the long tail. And that is businesses like yourself, large businesses on their own right, but the integration just takes a little bit to reach them. And so for us, we're able to work with issuers who work with, wide swaths of these retailers. So we're able to get a lot in one go, which helps in terms of being able to get up to speed and get these retailers, integrated and out the door. But we know that come second half of next year is we're going to start to look at, developing our merchant program.
Now, you just said you had about 200 vendors coming out in the recent near future. My co-host on another show, Aaron, and I both want to know if one of those by any chance are American Airlines. Dude, Delta and Southwest are great, but I live in Dallas-Fort Worth in Arlington, Texas, a mile from the DFW airport. And American Airlines, that's their hub. We need to get American Airlines on there, dude.
That is your hometown airline, and I will absolutely say that American Airlines is on this list.
Oh, that's just wonderful. As a matter of fact, I bought tickets last night to go to Memphis for that crypto event there, and I'm going, gosh, should I go to Southwest? I said, no, I'm not driving an extra 45 minutes. It's not worth it to me. But I am very excited about that. Is super exciting.
Well, Gary, I will personally expedite that brand for you.
Well, that would be wonderful. Yeah, when Aaron said to me, she said, ask him about that. I said, I'm going to ask him anyway. I'm into that. I really need American Airlines. I think, what do I got? 4 trips coming up in the next 3 months, that I can take American on. So, oh my gosh, I'm excited now. But this whole thing is exciting to me. I love Fuld. And like I said, if you didn't hear me earlier, go to GaryLeland.com/FOLD Fuld and sign up today. You're going to love this. And I'm not making anything. Well, I will make 20,000 sats if you buy. So I say I'm not making anything of this interview, but that is an affiliate program. But you didn't pay me to come on here and have me tell you how much I love this app. So will you be at Bitcoin 2020?
I will be. Yep.
Okay. Well, I look forward to meeting you there. Hopefully we'll get to run into each other. And consider coming to BitBlockBoom. I think you'll love it.
I absolutely will. It was something even last year. I was like, you know what? Maybe I could extend my stay and do that. All my friends are going there, so I think that I will definitely make an effort to get out there.
Yeah. We're having a new rule this year. If you talk about any other altcoin, first one you just get asked to stop. Second one you get taken out in the hallway. That's to stop. Third one you have to leave. So we're getting serious about this. We're a Bitcoin conference. You
got to keep quality up.
You got to keep it up. I don't want people bitching that they had to listen to people talking about altcoins. That's not the deal. Hey, where can people follow you at? Or follow Fuld, or what's the scoop?
Primarily, Bitcoin Twitter is where we're all going to be. So I am at WLRVS, and Fuld is at Fuld_app. And there we'll tell you, all about, upcoming new features, and just honestly, just give a shout out about how your experience is with Fuld, what features you'd like to see. But even just we're happy to get into it just about, the state of Bitcoin, the state of Lightning, of onboarding new users. It's something that we feel very strongly about, is that sharing this information and being collaborative both with people who are interested in it, but other companies is really important at this stage, that we're not all even competing right now until we've actually built a real market for us all to enjoy. And so I think the more collaboration, the more conversation that we have, the better we're all going to be for it.
And I saw you have a Lightning node that's on your site there. So I'll definitely open a channel to your node next week. If anyone has a node, you can open a channel with them, or you can open a channel with me. My node's Crypto Cousins, one word. So I want to make sure everybody knows about the nodes. And I have one more thing. What is your favorite podcast? Do you listen to podcasts?
I do listen to podcasts.
Name a couple of your top podcasts you listen to.
Let's see.
I'm not going to say your favorite. I'm just going to say some that you listen to.
Yeah, I love going on. TFTC was always one of my favorites. And
I love that show.
Having the chance to go on there was really great. Then there's, even outside crypto, there's, Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, which is incredible.
How long do you think it takes him to come up with that show? He only comes out with a couple episodes a year.
Yes, but those episodes are marathon 6 hours long. I am always in awe about, even, how long I'm waiting for it. When he finally releases it, I'm like, how did you even do this? It's a feat, and he's really great.
I own a podcast conference too. We're the world's largest podcast conference. We'll have 3,500 people in Dallas this year. And he was our keynote speaker a few years ago. Such a nice guy. Oh,
I bet you can. And again, one of the things I also love about, a good podcast is the personality really coming through. And one of the things is it has been incredible to see, Peter McCormick's podcast, because I remember listening to him when he was, really just starting out, and he's someone that you can feel the personality come through, has really honest conversations.
And I feel he's really good at, which Marty is too, I think, at listening and answering the questions, asking the questions. Pulling that question that goes with that much better than I am. I think both of those guys do a great job of listening to someone and doing a great follow-up question, I guess is what I say. And that's what makes their show so good.
The best part is that everyone has their own take. It's been interesting doing a few of these podcasts recently, is because I get friends or colleagues or, investors or whoever who's listening to them and say, oh, I like this one. I like this one. They have all different. And each podcast is its own flavor. And Gary, yours is your own as well. And I think that's the most important thing, is just do your own thing. And if you are sounding like someone else, then you're probably doing it wrong.
Right. That's true. You're probably not going to last either, because you're going to get tired of being someone else.
Yes.
And then you're going to build an audience, and then you'll revert to yourself later and they go, I don't like him. I like the other guy. So you'll be kind of in a flux. Before we get out of here, is there anything I may not have covered that you wanted to make sure and bring to the attention of the listeners?
I would say to listeners, some of the biggest help you can give the ecosystem is engaging with these builders and engaging with the products that they're making. Make them stay honest and give them feedback. It's only going to help what they're building, so that they build for you all. I think one of the best things about this community is it makes people stay honest because of how rabid and how much people believe in kind of what we're doing. And so I'd say, engage, even if it is something new or a new behavior, just check it out, give it a chance. And whether that is Fuld or any other of these new Bitcoin focused companies, I can tell you from just being on the team how much we appreciate and how much faster we grow with the more vocal engagement we receive.
Very good. Well, everybody, like I said, I can't remember. And also, for all my boomer friends, this is Bitcoin for Boomer approved, this site. This is for sure. So check it out today. Whether you're a boomer or not, you're going to love this app for sure. Thanks for coming on, Will. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today's show. A big thank you to all the cousins out there that are showing their support by donating, subscribing, and leaving great reviews on iTunes. All of those things help more than you realize. Now, you can subscribe almost anywhere podcasts are available by going to cryptocousins.com/subscribe. Call me with your comments or questions at 747-777-9471, or you can email me at thecryptocousins@gmail.com, and I'll try to use these on future episodes. Please take a peek at the 4-Minute Crypto Show, which is produced every weekday and located at 4minutecrypto.com. It's the place to get your daily dose of crypto news, and as always, 4 minutes or less. And one last thing, please take a look at my new website, Crypto Crybaby. This website is for the true crypto fan and sells Bitcoin and crypto gear like t-shirts, caps, and so much more. Take a look at CryptoCrybaby.com today. Thanks again for listening. Love you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Crypto Cousins podcast. Please share the show with your friends. They can subscribe by going to cryptocousins.com/subscribe. And if you want to know more about Gary, just go to GaryLeland.com. Make sure and join Gary and all the Crypto Cousins every week for a new episode of the Crypto Cousins podcast. The Crypto Cousins podcast and the information included in the podcast are not intended as investment advice. Investing in any cryptocurrency is risky, and you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always seek professional advice before investing in any cryptocurrency. Please understand, you are using any and all information from the Crypto Cousins at your own risk.